It was late summer last year, early September if I had to pin it down, when my wife Kayla, our 8-year-old son Owen, and I were driving home from a road trip through the middle of the country. We'd been visiting family near a major city up north, and instead of taking the fastest route back, we chose the quieter highways. No big interstates, less traffic, more open road. By the time we hit the wide, empty farmland in the Central Plains, the sun was dropping and all three of us were worn out. Owen had been whining in the back seat for the last hour, saying he was hungry, bored, and that his stomach felt weird. Kayla kept telling me we should stop and sleep instead of pushing through the dark. That's when we saw it, a small motel sitting alone off the highway, nothing around it but fields and a gravel lot. The kind of place that looked frozen in time, a flickering neon sign out front, an attached diner with an old-style lit window sign promising hot meals. The name on the sign was something harmless, something cozy. It looked like an old family-run motel from the 1950s, 2 stories, maybe 20 rooms total. The parking lot was loose gravel with weeds pushing up at the edges. The sign out front said something like, "Family owned since the early 60s. There was one pickup truck parked near the office, and at that point, I didn't care if the place was outdated. I just wanted a bed in an hour where nobody was arguing in the car. So I pulled in. The owner met us at the front desk right away. He introduced himself like he'd been waiting for us. He was in his late 60s, gray hair, clean shirt, and a smile that was almost too ready. Friendly. But his eyes were sharp, not warm. The kind of eyes that feel like they're measuring you. His wife stood behind him, sorting keys, quiet, watching. They chatted like everything was normal, weather, how peaceful the area was, how the highway didn't get many travelers anymore. Then the owner said the room was cash only. That was odd, but we were exhausted and we didn't want to drive anymore, so I paid. He gave us a key for a ground floor room. 2 beds, small bathroom, old air conditioner that rattled when it kicked on. We dropped our stuff fast. Owen immediately asked for food again. The diner was right next door, so we walked over. Inside, it had checkerboard floors and worn booths, old laminated menus, yellowed lights that made everything look slightly sick. There were only a couple other customers, a trucker at the counter, and an older couple sharing pie in a corner booth. The owner's wife was waitressing. She brought menus like she'd done it 1,000 times, and she smiled with the same too-perfect expression. We ordered simple food. Burgers for me and Kayla, chicken nuggets for Owen, fries all around. She said it would take 15 minutes. When the food came out, something was wrong immediately. The plates weren't hot, they were cold, like they'd been sitting out. My burger was lukewarm. The meat didn't taste spoiled exactly. It tasted metallic, over-salted, like pennies and seasoning. Kayla noticed it too. Her fries were soggy, and there was an aftertaste that didn't feel like grease. It was something sharper, chemical. Owen ate 2 nuggets, made a face, and said they were yucky. None of us wanted to be rude. We were tired. We told ourselves we were imagining it. So we picked at the food, paid the bill, and left. As we walked out, the owner's wife smiled and said very softly, "Hope you folks sleep well." Back in the room, Owen watched cartoons on the old TV while Kayla and I sat on the bed scrolling through our phones, letting our brains shut down. About an hour later, Owen said his stomach hurt. Then he threw up in the bathroom, hard. It wasn't just nausea. It was violent, like his body was trying to reject something. He went pale, sweaty, crying. Kayla held him while I tried to stay calm. I told myself it was car sickness or exhaustion or the weird diner food, but it got worse. He had diarrhea too, and his forehead felt hot. We didn't have children's medicine with us, not even the basics, so I checked the bathroom cabinet, hoping maybe someone had left antacids or something. And when I opened it, I froze. It was full of old bottles, expired pain relievers from years ago, generic antacids well past their date, and a half-empty cough syrup bottle with crust around the cap like it had leaked and dried. It looked like something pulled from a trash bag. Who leaves that stuff in a motel room? I showed Kayla, and she immediately said we should call the front desk. I did, the owner answered. At first, he sounded concerned. Oh no, poor kid. We've got some medicine here in the office. Come on over, I'll get you something. So I walked to the office. The building was dimly lit and the air felt heavy. The owner handed me a small bottle of syrup. No label, no brand, just a plain bottle with handwriting on it. Something like upset stomach. I hesitated. Then I thought about my son sweating and trembling in the bathroom, so I took it. Back in the room, we gave Owen a spoonful, and weirdly, he calmed down, his breathing slowed, his eyes got heavy. Then he fell asleep fast, like someone had shut him off. Kayla and I sat there in silence. And even though I wanted to believe the medicine worked, a crawling feeling spread through my chest. Something wasn't right. The cold food, the expired cabinet, the unmarked bottle. It all felt wrong. Then around midnight, Owen woke up and vomited again. This time he was shaking. His skin looked clammy. His lips had a strange gray tint. Kayla panicked and said we needed a hospital. I checked my phone. The closest ER was in a mid-sized town about 40 miles away. But our car was low on gas, and outside was pitch black. The kind of black that feels thick, no streetlights, no traffic, just flat fields and nothing else. So I told Kayla I'd go back to the office and ask for help. Maybe they had a first aid kit. Maybe they could call someone. Maybe I was overreacting. When I got to the office, the door was locked, but a light was on in the back. I knocked. After a minute, the owner opened it, and now his face looked annoyed. Not concerned, annoyed. What's the matter now? I explained what was happening with Owen. He sighed like I was inconveniencing him. Kids get sick all the time. Come in. We've got a little clinic area in the back. My wife used to be a nurse, a clinic, in a motel. Every alarm inside my body went off. But Owen was getting worse, so I followed him. He led me through a door behind the counter into a back room. It looked like a storage area, converted into something else. There was an exam table, cabinets, bandages, syringes, basic medical supplies. His wife was back there too, wearing gloves like she'd been waiting. She looked at me and said calmly, "Bring the boy here. We'll check him out." I went back to the room. Owen was too weak to walk, so I carried him. His head lolled against my shoulder like he was half conscious. I laid him on the exam table. The woman took his temperature, over 102. She listened to his heart. Then she said casually, "Looks like food poisoning." Food poisoning. From their diner. She said it like it was no big deal, like it was common. Then she prepared an injection. She said it was anti-nausea. I didn't like it, but I felt trapped. Owen whimpered weakly, and then the needle went in. Within minutes, he calmed down again. Too calm, like sedation. While they hovered over him, my eyes drifted to the cabinets and my stomach twisted. More expired medication, old antibiotics, painkillers past due, stuff you'd never find in an ordinary motel. And then I noticed something else. Surgical tools. Not medical basics. Surgical tools, metal instruments, scalpels, forceps. And in the corner, stacked against the wall, were coolers. Not picnic coolers. The kind used for transport, the kind you'd see in hospitals. My heart started pounding. Why would a roadside motel have that? Owen drifted off on the table. The owner stepped closer and lowered his voice. "Listen, sometimes the diner's fridge acts up. People get sick. We handle it quietly. No need to involve anyone. No need to involve doctors or police." I nodded like I agreed. Then I told him I needed to get Owen a blanket from the room. He waved me off, irritated. I walked back into the office area, empty, quiet, and my instinct took over. I started looking. On the desk was an old ledger book, handwritten entries, guest names, dates, and next to some names, notes. Not normal notes, words like sick, handled, transferred. My throat went dry. Then I found newspaper clippings tucked into the ledger, articles about missing travelers, a family vanishing after stopping at a motel off the highway, an investigation into food poisoning cases. Abruptly dropped. I felt like I couldn't breathe. My phone signal was weak, but I managed to search the motel name with keywords like sick and incident. A few forum posts popped up, people describing bad food, getting violently ill, and weird staff behavior. One post hit me like a hammer. Someone claimed their friend stayed there, got sick, and woke up later with stitches along their side like something had been removed. I stared at the screen. My mind started connecting dots I didn't want connected. Then I hurried toward the clinic room. Kayla was still there beside Owen. The owners were in a side room whispering. I stepped closer and peeked through a crack. The owner was on the phone and I heard him clearly. "Yeah, I got a kid here. Young ones. Parents too if needed. Can you send the van?" I felt my blood turn cold. I didn't process it right away. Then the word landed in my head like a nail. Organs. I backed away quietly, walked up to Kayla and grabbed her arm hard enough that she flinched. "We need to leave now!" She looked confused. I leaned in and whispered what I found, the ledger, the missing people, the call, the van. Kayla went pale. Owen was groggy from whatever they injected, barely able to focus. I scooped him up. We moved fast. As we reached the door, the woman noticed. "Where are you going?" she called. "He's not stable." We didn't answer, we ran. The gravel lot felt endless. The night felt like it was closing in. Behind us, I heard the owner shouting, telling us to come back, saying it wasn't safe out there. Like he cared. I got Owen into the back seat. Kayla climbed in, shaking. My hands fumbled the keys. Then the engine turned over. I slammed the gas. The tires spun in gravel, and we shot out of the lot, flying back onto the highway like we were escaping a burning building. In the rearview mirror, I saw him standing there, phone in hand, watching us go, probably calling whoever was coming. We drove like our lives depended on it, because I believe they did. We reached the nearest hospital around 2 a.m. The staff rushed Owen back. They said it was severe food poisoning, but also something else. Traces of a toxin, something that didn't match typical contamination. They treated him, kept him overnight, and monitored him until his fever finally started dropping. While Owen was being cared for, Kayla and I told police everything. The motel, the diner, the medicine bottle, the clinic, the surgical gear, the call about a van. The police took it seriously. They went out there the next morning, and what they found was worse than I imagined. The owners weren't just careless. They weren't just running a shady motel. They were connected to something darker, a rural trafficking ring. Travelers who stopped for the night, truckers passing through, families on road trips who wouldn't be missed immediately. The clinic was a front, a place to sedate victims and operate in secrecy. The police found evidence, preserved tissue in those coolers, records of transactions, shipping notes, messages to buyers. The owners were arrested. The man didn't even have the name he gave us. The woman really had medical training, but her license had been revoked years earlier. And their motel, sitting out there in the flat emptiness off a quiet highway, had been doing it for a long time. Owen recovered in a few days. We got lucky. Not everyone did. And I still dream about that place. The cold burger, the metallic taste, the handwritten bottle, the quiet exam table in the back of a motel office, and the calm voice on the phone saying, "I got a kid here." If you're driving through the Central Plains, don't stop at the cozy little places with the flickering neon signs. Use a chain. Use something with cameras. Use something with real staff and real reviews. And if your food tastes wrong, don't finish it.